Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul, which is not something that I do very often on my channel, which I definitely stated in my last book haul in October. So, yes, I don't do this very often. I don't buy a lot of books, so I just slowly accumulate them over like months. So all the books that I'm going to be hauling today, I have accumulated since the end of October probably, or like the beginning of November. So yeah, it's like a slow accumulation of items, I guess. Most of these books, I don't know what they're about. Just gonna be completely honest, I don't know, other than the fact that a lot of people say they're good. And I like to read things that other people think are good, and then half the time I read them, I don't think they're good. So that sucks. But I have them now, nonetheless. So I'm not gonna go in any particular order. I'm just gonna kind of grab them as I see them, you know? So the first one is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I have heard so many good things about this book. There's a movie. Heard so many good things about the movie as well. Haven't seen the movie. Clearly haven't read the book. I don't know anything about this book other than the fact that everybody says it's funny. And the other day I realized that I honestly don't really have that many books on my shelf that are just like a fun time. Honestly, most of the books that I own are like somewhat serious or dramatic or just sad or scary. I don't really have anything that's just fun and a good time. So I wanted something that's fun and a good time. I think that that's important for one to have, you know? So I'm probably going to read this very soon. The next book I got is Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. Again, don't know too much about this one. But I don't think it's happy though. I think it's kind of emotional and sad. I definitely know more about this book than Crazy Rich Asians. I'm pretty sure this book is about, I think, a girl who ages out of a foster care system and is sent to like a farm, like in some isolated area or something, and it's like haunted, I think. So that sounds cool to me. I like ghosts, so I think it's gonna be sad. This is also the January pick for the 20-something book club, which is hosted by Mafalda from Mafalda is Reading and Casey from Casey Can Read. I'll leave information for the book club in the description in case you want to check it out. But yeah, this is the January pick. I'm excited to read it with everyone, and it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty sad. I am excited for the ghosts. This next one I bought when I went to a used bookstore and I saw it, and it looked so bad that I just had to get it. I had to get it because, you know, when you see a book and you're like, that looks awful, but you're like, is it though? Like, it might not be. I had to figure that out. Like, I have to know. I have to know if this book sucks. It's called Frat Girl by who? Kylie Roche? Not sure. But this is what it is. And then under Frat Girl, it says, there's a feminist in the house. Oh, sorry. There's a feminist in the frat house. I don't think I need to explain why this looks really bad. And in the back, it says, there's more than one F word. For Cassandra Davis, the F word is fraternity. Specifically, Delta Kappa Frappa. It's not what it says, but I don't care. Accused of sexist behavior. They have 1 year to clean up their act. What does that mean? I don't know. But I want to know. You know what I mean? So this is a thing that I purchased with my own money. I'm not gonna lie, for how terrible this looks, I'm really excited to read it because of how bad it looks. But what if it's not? What if it's like really good? You know what I mean? You just never know. Don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, at this point, I'm judging it by the cover and, like, the back description. But you never know. Sometimes the little descriptions on the flap in the back are kind of whack. And we all know that, okay? All that kind of rhymed right there. That made me uncomfortable. The next one was recommended by my mother. She wanted me to read this. It is American Pastoral by Philip Roth. Don't really know what this is about. I read the description on the back. I read, what was it? Political terrorism from a teenage girl? I'm interested. Yeah, again, I don't know what this is really about, but she wanted me to read it. She was like, I think you need to read this. Like, I want you to read it. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. So I found this copy at a used bookstore, and it has someone's, like, annotations in it, which is pretty cool. There was one in here that was kind of funny. I really want to find it, because it had, like, nothing to do with the book, I'm pretty sure. It was like her grocery list or something. Oh, here it is. Okay. It says, la 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 la, with a picture of a pig. Like a drawing of a pig. I don't even know if the camera is like picking that up. Very funny. Maybe that isn't random. Like maybe that has something to do with this. We'll find out. I will find out. We'll see. The next one was a gift from my boyfriend, and it's, who even wrote this? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Grahame-Smith. I don't really know what this is. Like, obviously I've seen this everywhere. What the fuck? There's pictures. I didn't know that. What the hell? Elizabeth. I don't really know what this is. Like I said, clearly I've seen this everywhere. We've all seen this everywhere. It is like a movie. I'm pretty sure there's also like a Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters or something. Now with 30% more zombies. I haven't actually heard anything about this. Like really, like I don't really know what this is. Like is this just Pride and Prejudice with some zombies? Like is it the exact same story as Pride and Prejudice? There's just occasional zombies? Or like is Mr. Darcy like a zombie? Like I don't know. Excited to find out though. The next book is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I have read Gone Girl and Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Really loved Gone Girl. I liked Sharp Objects, not as much as Gone Girl though. So I was really interested in reading her other book. Probably gonna save this though for later in the year, maybe around spooky time. Like I said earlier, I really just want to read something fun and happy for once. Yeah. I will say though, the font in here is huge, and I don't know why. Like if it was just printed that way, or this is like a book of the month edition that I found, so maybe that's why. But it's ginormous. I mean, it's really not that big. It's like, it's not that big. But bigger than I was expecting. Haven't heard too much about this one. I don't even know what this one's about. I've mainly only heard things about Gone Girl and Sharp Objects. I feel like this is the book that kind of gets brushed under the rug, or I did not use that correctly. I feel like this is her novel that gets overlooked often. So yes, really interested to see how I feel about this one. Oh shit, that one did not land the way I wanted it to. Next, I have Beloved by Toni Morrison. Again, not entirely sure about the plot of this book, other than the fact that I'm pretty sure it's about a woman that escapes from slavery, something like that. I know that it has to do with slavery, so. But of course, this is a very praised novel, very critically acclaimed, won the Nobel Prize in Literature. I've been really interested in reading Toni Morrison and like her other novels as well, but I felt like Beloved is a good place to start because it's, at least from what I understand, her most famous novel, so that's Beloved. The next one was also a gift from my boyfriend. It is The Turn of the Screw and Other Short Fiction by Henry James. We watched The Haunting of Bly Manor together. We loved it, and I wanted to read the book. I did the same thing with Haunting of Hill House. I watched Haunting of Hill House, and then I read the book afterwards. Wish it was the other way around, of course, but it's okay. So I watched Haunting of Bly Manor. I wanted to read the book, so he got me the book, and I'm excited to read it, see how I feel about it, see the similarities between the book and the show as you do. Look at them. Chillins on the front. It is The Turn of the Screw and Other Short Fiction, so I don't know what else is in here, like what other books are included in here. The Turn of the Screw, Washington Square, Daisy Miller, A Study, The Beast in the Jungle, and The Jolly Corner. I don't know what that means, so awesome. The next book that I picked up is The Tenets of Wildfell Hall, which is Anne Bronte's novel. I think she wrote more novels, but I have this one. I cannot remember her other books. Don't know anything about this book. I know nothing of this book and what it's about, other than Anne Bronte read it. Read it? She wrote it. She wrote it. She probably read it, though. I mean, she wrote it. Other than Anne Bronte wrote it, I know nothing about it, but I was interested in reading it because, obviously, Anne Bronte is very overlooked in literature. Her sisters definitely outshine her. Sad for Anne, but, you know, maybe it's for a reason. Maybe this is not that good. I don't know. I know she has other books, though. Agnes Grey. That is the other one that I was thinking of. Okay, this is not Agnes Grey. This is this one. I don't know what that one's about either. I don't know which one's better. I have no idea. I just wanted to read something by Anne Bronte. So I found this and I was like, oh, Anne, yeah, I'll get your book. So I don't know when I'm going to read it though. Maybe soon. Maybe soon. You never know. Maybe I'll be in the mood for Anne in the coming future. The soon to be future, you know? So I have this now. Alright, the next one's a big boy. It is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I am still reading Anna Karenina. I still am. I started Anna Karenina like a few months ago. Still haven't finished it. Mainly because I am listening to the audiobook and I just don't like audiobooks. I don't like them. So I did go like a whole month without listening to it. So if I was listening to it, I would be done with it by now. But I did go, like I said, like a whole month without listening to it, and that definitely set me back. But it's still wonderful. It's great. I'm loving it so far. I'm like halfway through it, but it's fantastic. So obviously, I was like, well, Leo Tolstoy, let's read War and Peace. Like, I knew this book was long, but like when you look at it like this, you're like, fuck, this book is long. It's really long. And like, I read it, okay? But this is longer than it. I think this is longer than it. I don't know. But this is very long. I'm determined though. I have like motivation enough to read this and finish it. Like I said, I'm determined. Love this cover though. Isn't it cute? Pretty nice. The next book I got is The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. Again, don't really know what this is about other than someone like dies. And I think the story is like centered around that. Or something about that. I don't know. All I know is that I've heard a lot of good things about it and it like sounds interesting enough and I want to read it. It's also very short, unlike our previous book. So this should be fun. Next I have Dracula by Bram Stoker. I've already read this. I already have another copy, but this is the Penguin Black Edition, and I like these a lot. So I found this in a used bookstore, and I wanted it. Because why not, you know? The other copy I have is like a cool, cheesy 80s looking cover. So this is just like a simple Penguin edition. I just like these. I just like them. We all do, you know? They look nice on your shelf. They feel nice to read. The font is fantastic. They're great. I have no complaints. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes I do have some complaints. Sometimes the pictures that they choose are whack. And what's worse is sometimes online, the picture is not what you receive. Like, how are you gonna make me think that the picture online is this cool whatever, and then I get it and it's just like a forest? It's exactly what happened with The Woman in White. I ordered The Woman in White, and the cover online, the picture was like some woman in white, and she was like, she looked all scared and whatever, and I get the book, and the picture is a forest. I was like, what is this? Not what I ordered, but yeah. That's it. That's my only complaint with these editions. The next book I got is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This book I have seen, like, talked about and hyped up on BookTube for so long now, and I just haven't gone to it, but I finally have it, and I'm really excited to start it soon. This story, from what I understand, is about a black woman who is babysitting a white baby, or like a white toddler, and she goes to the store one day with the child that she's babysitting, and I believe the security guard or something of the store accuses the young woman of kidnapping the child, which is absurd, obviously. I've heard so many good things about this book, and the story sounds really interesting, and it just sounds like an important book, you know what I mean? I'm excited that I finally have it and that I'll be able to get to it soon. It sounds really good, so I'm excited to read it. The next book that I picked up is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is definitely a very dark story. It's about a girl who, I believe when she was in school, I don't know how old she was at the time, but she was in a relationship with her teacher who's like 40 something, I think. So I think it talks about that, and then it also goes like into the future where that teacher is now like on trial and like has charges pressed against him for doing the exact same thing that he did with this girl with other students as well. So I've heard so many good things about this book. It also is definitely a hard story to read. I mean, from what I have heard, obviously it is not for the faint of heart. So I am really excited to get to it. Probably not very soon, because like I said, I just want to read something happy, you know? I just want to read something lighthearted and fun. Eventually I will get to this though. The next one is a book that I probably should have already read in my life, but I haven't. It is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I think everybody has already read this book at this point, but me. It takes place during World War II. Again, I don't really know what this book's about, even though I feel like I should, at this point because everybody and their mothers fucking read this book but me, but I know it takes place during World War II, and I think the girl steals books. Also that it's really sad. So when I hear a book is really sad, I'm like, oh yes, I want to read that now. And that's probably why a majority of the books that I own are sad or just emotional in some way. So when I fall into times in my life, like the one that I'm in right now, where all I want to read is something happy, I have a problem there. Because the amount of happy books that I have is significantly smaller than the amount of sad books that I have. And this is why. I keep buying these sad books. But I feel like this is just so necessary. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's read this but me. And I want to read it. I want to know. I've heard it's so good. It's just such a good book. And I just want to read it at this point. So, I got it. The next book that I picked up is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Did I say that right? I freaking did! I said all of that correctly. Proud of myself. This book sounds like fun as well. I hope it's fun. I've heard that this book is good. It sounds like fun to me, but I don't know if it's gonna be like fun. I don't know. It's about vampires. From what I've heard, I believe it's about like a book club in the South that like has to stop some vampire business. I don't know. It sounded like True Blood to me. I like True Blood. It just sounds like some southern suburban vampire drama, and that just sounds like so much fun. You know what I mean? It sounds hilarious. I don't know if it is. Like, it sounds really fun to me, but then there's like blurbs on the back that are like, a terrifying vampire tale, and I'm like, what the fuck? Terrifying? I don't know if I want that right now. I want a fun, southern, suburban vampire drama story. Either way, I've heard that this is good. I'm excited to get to it eventually. I am taking a little bit of a vampire break because I've been reading, or I had been reading, so much vampire stuff and like watching so much vampire stuff that I just felt like I need a break. You know? I need a break. A little break from vampires. I love vampires. We all know this. But sometimes you just need a little break from the things that you love. I guess. I don't know. But yes, I need a little bit of a vampire break. But once I feel ready to come back to the world of vampires, this will probably be the first one that I go to. The last book that I had to share, I don't have really anything to say about it. It is The Godfather with No Dust Jacket by Mario Puzo. I really hope I'm saying that kind of correctly. I have not seen the Godfather movies ever, and I want to see them, but I feel like I am more interested in reading the book than watching the movies just because I like reading books more than I like watching movies. I've also heard that the movies get to a point where they kind of divert into kind of their own story. I don't know how correct that is. I really don't know, but I've heard that the first one, though, is pretty similar to the book, I think. So, I have the book with No Dust Jacket. The only thing that I know about this story is that it involves the mafia in some way. Like, it's some kind of mafia story. Again, like, I've never seen the Godfather movies, so I don't know. But, I mean, The Godfather is known, I guess, to be, like, one of the best movies ever. So, this better be good, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. So, those are all the books I had to share today. A lot of books that I don't know the synopsis of, but have heard good things. Hopefully I will feel good things when I read them. All these books, though, I'm really excited to get to soon. I'm just really excited to read all of them, you know? Including Frat Girl. You know, Frat Girl might be high on the list, actually. That just, I might read that next, honestly. I don't know. Frat Girl is, I don't know. I don't know what to think of Frat Girl. I really don't. But yes, that concludes today's book haul. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time.